video. So, with the Legendary Goku event sort of wrapping up its relevance now, with the GT Legendary Goku event now coming out, I figured I'd just do a last series of videos. I just wanted to see if this challenge would be any fun or not. And that is to no item the Legendary Goku event with just mono typings. Now, I feel like just thinking about it, it's not that tough. And for sure, with something like Super AGL, this is a joke, right? Like this run, this run was not exactly hard. AGL is so stacked, right? And like, I'm not doing like Super AGL, Extreme AGL. I'm just going like AGL, Tech, Int, Physical, STR. I'm just gonna no item it with the 5 major typings, right? Now, I mean, there's several factors that go into this, right? Number one would be like our leader. We'd have to think of like a good leader unit here who would be very effective in the Legendary Goku event, a long event, be able to give a decent, at least leader skill, at least a decent one, and then also have like a secondary leader skill buff that would hit AGL. Immediately I just thought like, oh, let's just rock AGL LR Gohan, right? LR Gohan, while his damage, I need to do a level 10 link video on him, because like his damage is just pathetic, it seems like, to like all of the newer units out right now. And like, I know like someone's gonna go crazy about that. He always hits 5 million for me. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but like all the newer units are just like shitting on him in terms of damage, right? Now again, I do want to like max out AGL LR Gohan and C, but like AGL Gohan at this point, his purpose is more so for this right here. This exactly is what LR Gohan's purpose is like going through a long event, like building up, right? Because in his Super Saiyan form, he's just building up, both from his passive, and then he's stacking defense on his super attacks. So he just builds up and builds up and builds up, and then by the time you get to the difficult portions of this fight, he's very, very tanky. I imagine LR Gohan will probably still be good in the GT Legendary Goku event. I mean, maybe they could dramatically change it to where like what if you started out by fighting like a base adult like GT Goku, and he's like the second hardest phase in the event or something like that, right? And then it weakens, and then it gets progressively stronger again. Like, who knows exactly how they're going to go ahead and do it, right? Now, obviously, there's again so many units who will be dominant here. I did bring LR Kale and Khalifa. They're going to be just overpowered like crazy. Honestly, like, there's so many options for AGL, it's nuts, right? Like, I have LR Kale and Khalifa's TUR, I have them rainbowed, I have the SSR Kale and Khalifa rainbowed. Now, link levels is definitely another, like, sort of, like, thing in this event here. I don't have the TUR Kale and Khalifa, I don't have them link leveled. Their damage is just not really going to be very good, especially when it comes to going through these tech phases. And you guys might notice Kid Trunks Great Saiyaman on the team right here. One of the reasons I decided to bring him, he does stack defense, but the more he attacks, he builds up a crit chance from his passive. After 7 attacks, he's got a 49% chance to crit, which I thought would be very helpful when it came down to taking out the Tech God Goku phase, right? Because I was thinking, like, Tech God Goku will be the only real concern for that, like, but like, it's still like there's 3 phases after Tech God Goku, so it's not even really that scary, but that's just sort of the one phase I'm targeting. And by bringing Kid Trunks Great Saiyaman, you know, again, he builds up that crit from his passive after 7 hits. By the time we get to God Goku, I've been keeping him on rotation to make sure we would have that, right? And then also, if we get 7 orbs with him, he also will get guaranteed crits for the turn. That Kid Trunks Great Saiyaman in like long events like this definitely can have a little bit of use, right? Now, I brought AGL UI Goku. Honestly, I was gonna say there's better units we could bring for this. I guess I could say more safer units we could bring. My thinking was maybe I'd put him in harm's way, see if we can't get him to get a couple of hits, and maybe we'll do the revive mechanic, right? But the thing about UI Goku and LR Evolution Blue Vegeta that makes them just dominantly powerful is the huge amount of crits that they output. So one reason I brought AGL UI Goku is to help us tear through Int UI Goku and then the Tech God Goku, because the crits for those 2 phases will be essential, right? Because Int UI Goku, the final boss, like, he's still a difficult opponent, right? No doubt about that. That last phase is still tough. It's just you get, 10 turns to build up to it with defensively and stuff like that. Building up like the LR Blue Fusion's attack passives and shit. But like, if you were fighting that Int UI Goku turn 1, he's strong. He's really tough, right? I have Trunks and Goten here. Now, Trunks and Goten are, right now, I mean, I would say I think they're the best banner unit in the game. I mean, I'm not really stating that as like a definitive fact, though. It's just like, without like really like breaking them down and looking at it, I kind of like them as number 1 with their stacking, their decent stats, and then of course 3 key 40% attack and defense to Goku family and Vegeta family. They are supporting every unit on this team except for LR, Kale, and Caulifla, who don't need the support. Because LR, Kale, and Caulifla, they're designed where they get so much overflow key. They have a great link set. They're stacking defense. They build up dodge chance. Like, Kale and Caulifla are just not really a concern, right? Like I just sort of have them on the team. We don't need to prioritize them super attacking or nothing like that. Now, Dragon Ball... I was about to call him Dragon Ball Super Bardock. But the episode of Bardock special, this guy, like, he's so toned down. Like, look at the damage he did right there. Like, in the 1 million range. Like, sure, he does stack. Super Saiyan Bardock is, of course, very good. But, I don't know. That Bardock, I feel like, has aged very quickly. I don't know if it's just that, like, Bardock has aged quickly. I don't have him at full level 10 links. Or it's just the most recent units are just, like, so overpowered. Like, you just compare Bardock to the unit who came out exactly 1 year after him, in Broly, and it's just like stunning. Like, but I mean, I guess we could do that with a couple of units. See, okay, so like if you compare Beerus to Trunks and Goten, they're in the same time slot. I actually think Beerus could be a little bit comparable to Trunks and Goten. Like, Beerus is really good. He's super powerful still, right? Whereas like, look at the Golden Week units, GT, Goku, and Vegeta. Shit on Gotenks and Buu. It's not even kind of close. They're just, like, so much better. It's crazy, right? I would say the same thing about Int Broly versus Bardock here. There's just, like power creep is, like, phew. It's big. Now, because of the fact that I am aware... by the way, I put UI Goku. I'm just trying to get him hit, believe it or not. So that we could get the 3 hits in and then potentially have our, whatchamacallit, get the hits in so we can get that revive mechanic potentially. By the way, notice that this is going to be the toughest phase for UI Goku right here. Type disadvantage, and notice he took double digits from normal attacks right there. Yeah. Again, I see a lot of downplay for this guy, and it's just, you're a dummy. You're a dummy. That's it, dude. Like, I'm sorry, he's number 1. That's just how it is. You can say whatever you want to. Other units can't do this. They don't do what he does. He just disintegrated this tech god Goku right here. This is one of the main reasons I brought UI Goku, is for this phase. Again, because both Vegeta and Goku, right there on the overlay, when they triple super attack, it's like they're just killing whatever is in front of them. Because you're doing a minimum, if they triple super, you're doing a minimum of 2 crits. Crits are still just, like, it's so strong. Ignoring defense, doubling damage, it's just so powerful, right? So, like, you get those crits off, and then just, like, type disadvantage just disintegrates in front of you. So, like, I've sort of talked about all the units that are on the team here. I mean, the build, it should be fairly obvious. Again, there's a lot of potential other units I could have used. Honestly, even something like AGL Super Vegito surely would work here. I think, like, LR Vegeta and Nappa, while the LR is a little bit toned down, for, like, a no-item run like this, like, them being able to exchange and then us get the healing in later would be fine. That would be very good as well. Sort of, like, just thinking about, like, other AGL units, like, LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku would be good. Spirit Bomb Goku is actually a good example of a unit who is not a consideration for this run, right? Because LR Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku. Defensively is just not going to really cut it, I think, against Int UI Goku. Like, there's just no reason to bring him when there's just way superior options. It's like, yeah, his damage could be good, but a lot of his, like, defensive, like, ability, I don't know, or sort of his utility is that he seals and lowers attack on that 18 key super attack. But obviously that becomes worthless starting with Tech God Goku in this event, right? Where you can't lower attack, you can't do any of that stuff. So I just figure, like, I'm not even really concerned about it, right? What other AGL units could be good here? Honestly, AGL Rose definitely is a unit that could work well. I recently got AGL Rose 2 full level 10 links as well. So, you know, him building up that defense, having big bad bosses and stuff like that could be good. The only thing is, if I was going to rock AGL Rose, I would need another character to link up with big bad bosses. AGL Zamasu, honestly, is kind of mid. Like, I don't know that he'd be good for this. Like, in UI Goku, I feel like would cream pie him. Like, that would be a rotation that would crush STR UI Goku. AGL Zamasu. And by the way, I'm saying AGL Zamasu with his first transformation, because remember, he's Zamasu, then he's Fused Zamasu, and then he's Purple Bukaki Monster Zamasu. Right, I'm talking about his second form, the second Zamasu, Fused Zamasu, has big bad bosses, but he doesn't have sort of that, like, defensive, like, lowering type of build, like that. He has, what, in his Purple Bukaki form, he's only got 20% damage reduction, no defense, nothing, so it's just not really too good. Wrath Broly is a unit I think could contribute here very heavily, so could Pikkon. Pikkon is really good. I feel like Pikkon is a character that pretty much in any event in the game can provide some usability. Pikkon as well with the Ghost Usher effect could be very good, right? Because this is a place where Pikkon and his Ghost Usher could be very good for us. By the way, Bardock, my plan to transform with Bardock would be once we get to Int UI Goku, right? Obviously, like, because if we're able to get Bardock to, I don't know, you know, 300k plus defense by the time we're fighting Int UI Goku, we transform with him. Then he gets, like, the damage reduction and the crit chance and all the stuff he does. Bardock, of course, would work a lot better if there was, like, one of these, like, legendary Goku type events, but it was against an extreme class enemy or a Wicked Bloodline enemy or something like that. Like, Bardock would look so much more impressive, but it currently does not exist, right? Now, AGL Tapion ZZA is another. I was considering him, right? But remember, like, a lot of it is based upon what leaders you're going to use, too. That's a huge factor. And that's also an issue I'm running into, because, like, I did some tries for Tech. Tech is tough, because Tech doesn't have, honestly, a lot of units that are great for, like, going through the entire event. And then, like, you think of, like, Tech Ultimate Gohan, like, oh, it's so easy. But it's like, yeah, you got Tech Ultimate Gohan, and then who else? Like, Goku and Frieza, like, you know, they could do a lot of damage if we're building it up with supports and stuff like that. But it's like, we're not using items, so, like, we're not going to try and, like, nuke in UI Goku or anything like that. And, like, in terms of, like, leader units and stuff, it's a little bit tricky to do, like, Tech. I think every other typing, honestly, is going to be way easier. And I think it's not even completely the fact that the most difficult portion of this fight is Int, but more so about Tech does not really have the best units, right? Like, if you just, like, made AGL UI Goku Tech right now, I'd probably do it in one try, right? Same thing with, like, Kale and Caulifla, you know, characters like that. Certainly doesn't help, though, that Int UI Goku does cancel dodging. So, for example, Tech Caulifla, who is really good with her permanent dodging all throughout the event, right? But then by the time you reach the end there, you know, you're not really going to be doing too well against that Int UI Goku unless you've really been stacking like crazy. There's a lot of other, like, sort of, like, sneaky options that I feel like would be really good. Maybe, like, a rotation of Android 13 and AGL Rose would work really well. Because remember, this is where Android 13 can look really crazy. It's going up against a Goku enemy like this. So, like, you know, you would be able to get that fusion Android 13. And I do think he could look rather impressive in this event in the right circumstance. So then there's, like I'm just, like, sort of, like, scrolling through my box looking at units that would be good here, right? The AGL Dokkan, Butoden, Vegeta would work well, because obviously he's a Saiyan. He gets stronger against superclass enemies. You know, he can definitely be well over, like, 200k defense. Really, as long as units can take double-digit damage from Int UI Goku, I sort of have them as a consideration, right? I also, like, so, like, transforming Goku, right? The fact that he stops stacking once he hits blue does hurt him a bit in terms of using him in here. However, the thing about transforming Goku is that his SSR never stops stacking, so you could use him. Bardock's SSR is another option. Some of those units I decided to not even mess around with, though, because the damage would be very low. Like, it's just all defense. And if you go too much defense, UI Goku could still catch us. So I'm not really too concerned about Int UI Goku attacking our UI Goku here. Even though UI Goku can't dodge anymore, so this is actually, like, not the greatest situation for him. I really don't think, like, he's going to be the cause of our demise. The other thing, too, is I wasn't counting, but I believe he's been hit 3 times up to this point. So if we enter a rotation with him under 50% HP, we could utilize the revive mechanic, which obviously be very good. And then the amount of damage UI Goku would be doing here is still crazy. Kid Trunk's Great Saiyaman's got early super attacks as well, which works well with him, you know, stacking up his defense. AGL EZA Goten is another great option. That super attack effect that him, SCR-18, and the physical Kid Trunks have, where he gets a 50% attack and defensive buff for 6 turns, is just very, very powerful. Who else could be good here? Again, we're utilizing Kid Trunk's Great Saiyaman. I think Yamu and Spopovich actually could be low-key a pretty good option for how long this event takes and how they build up. Let me see. There is that AGL Cooler as well. He's a character against Goku family category enemies. He's crazy. Just like the Int Frieza. Both of them are just so good against Goku family category enemies, which would make him a definite possibility. I think the Hercule and Fat Boo dual unit, well, it's sort of like the exchange unit. They can work well. Yeah, look, dude, Goku's still taking double-digit damage. That unit could work well also, although you probably would want a good partner with them. Obviously, Trunks and Goten, we're rocking them. You know, they could triple super attack. They stack. They give Vegeta family and Goku family the 3 key 40% attack and defense. So basically with the entire team, they are supporting outside of LRK and Khalifa, which is good. AGL Nail, of course, is a great option. You don't even really need to bring another Piccolo or anything like that. Just like AGL Nail stacking by himself should be good. Nail and Pikkon would be a very formidable rotation that could definitely get it done, even against UI Goku right here. Now, obviously, UI Goku does counter Pikkon to some extent, right? Neutralizing his dodging, which dodging is a huge portion of what Pikkon is able to do. But, I mean, depending upon if your Pikkon is like Rainbowed, level 10 links, linked up with Nail, where they'd have things like Cold Judgment active, I think Pikkon defensively would hold up fine against Int UI Goku, provided he doesn't eat a super attack. A super attack, and that boy Pikkon is, you know, he's hitting the dirt nap. He's not exactly going to do too well against that. And I think that pretty much covers a lot of the characters who would be super good in here. Again, like, currently I'm looking, I have 169 AGL units in my box, right? And it's like at least maybe 100 of them are just like complete like non-factors here. Just will not help. Because again, we're using only AGL and no items. Those are basically the 2 restrictions that we've got going here. A lot of times, like for these runs too, I've done a couple of these already at the time that I'm recording the audio for this first one right here. I do try and use newer units as much as possible. Not only the fact that they are completely busted, but I feel like it's a good way to show their abilities, right? Like Trunks and Goten in this one. I did already do it with Int, and I used like the Krillin and Android 18 unit for my Int run, because I just felt like, you know, that unit does have value used in the right situation correctly, and Int was definitely a good place for me to do it. It's funny is I didn't even use the GT Super Saiyan Vegeta, who obviously is like, you know, one of the just flat out stronger characters in the game, right? Who is like super good, can absolutely be jaw-dropping. So we're about to finish up here. Let me know what you guys think of these sort of challenges. Again, we're going to take it down with all 5 typings. The only one I think might be a little bit tricky and even take multiple attempts at all is really going to be Tech. Just because, again, Tech doesn't have the greatest units, right, to get a no-item run done. Like, you know, like you'd think like, oh, LR Vegito Blue is so great. It's like, but the only thing is, you know, 1 super attack from Int UI Goku, and then that's pretty much GG, right? So it's like, it's just a lot of, it's basically like, you know, 20 minutes of stacking, getting the Int UI Goku, and then just hoping that the super attacks are aimed in the right position. Whereas, like, you know, mono AGL right here, we just sort of like creep-pied the event with very little difficulty. As is customary with the no item runs, I'll go ahead and show off Link levels, equipment, and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, at this point where Link level ups, at this point, wow, unbelievably, it's been 10 months since the Link level up system has been added to the game. So many of the top tier units in this game I now have at full level 10 Links. The only character on this team, Trunks and Goten, I'm almost done with them, right? Because they just recently came out. But the only character on this team who is not like ultra Link leveled is Bardock. But Bardock is just, again, as far as TURs go, he's definitely just not on the same level as some of the newer ones. I will get to finishing him up rather soon, though. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.